So hello and welcome to this week's weekly reading. If you are new to this channel, hello, my name is Julia, and on this channel I like to do pick-a-cards and weekly predictions and other types of tarot videos. And I'm also a huge astrology enthusiast, so I like to combine tarot, stars and the spirit to provide you the most accurate reading possible. And today we will use these painting scraps right here as our selection tools for the groups, and we will have 4 groups. And now, without further ado, let's head into the selection and see you in your reading. So hello and welcome to today's group selection, and today we will have 4 groups and we will use not crystals, not decks, but these painting scraps. So I think it is now about a month or even longer ago that we have used those, and these are different ones from the ones I have used previously, and the procedure is the same though. Let's now take our 3 conscious deep breaths, and while you inhale and exhale, feel how the air is flowing through your body, how your belly is expanding when you inhale and going back in when you exhale. And for one last time, inhale deeply and exhale. And now let your gaze wander across these scraps. And from left to right, it's going to be group number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And while you are looking at the groups, you can either out loud or in your mind ask yourself the question, how are my next 7 days going to look like? What are my upcoming 7 days going to be like? What do I need to know about the upcoming week? So, while asking yourself that, try to feel which group you feel more drawn to with your gut feeling. Try to choose not so much with the eyes or the conscious mind, but more with that belly feeling, with the gut feeling. And you can pause the video and meditate longer on the groups if you need to. And once you are ready, just head down to the description box and click on the according timestamp, and see you in your reading. So hello and welcome to your reading, group number 1. So if you chose this paint scrap right here, then this is going to be your reading. So let's use the Rider-Waite Tarot for mapping out the essential topics and events for your upcoming week, group number 1. So I hope that the past week has had not only some challenges and lessons for you, but also some blessings and some good times. Now just trying to organize this a little bit more space saving, because I've got all my decks here today. And yeah, let's now see what the next week has in stock for you. And oh, we have the 6 of Pentacles right there. So seems group number 1 like during the past week or in the recent past, you might have been working on balancing out how you spend your resources, both monetarily, but also when it comes to time and emotional resource. But this is honestly more on material side, maybe even. We have the 8 of Wands reversed here. Interesting. So, I'm not gonna take this one. Gotta be a little bit clearer here. Put these scraps here. Okay, and we have the 7 of Cups in reverse, which is, in my opinion, a nice card to get in reversal. We have the 2 of Cups here. So group number 1, this thing right here might also been maybe a new job contract you signed, or maybe, if you are a freelancer, for instance, just a good client that came in. Here with the 5 of Swords, I feel like, and the 8 of Wands there in reverse, kind of see a theme going on for you, group number 1. Could it be that you kind of are having a fresh start after maybe going through some, upheavals there? And I strongly see this like in career somehow. Like I see also this thing definitely being for you so far not so much, you know, a relationship romance topic right here. More of career nature. Let's see. So group number one. What's with them here? Okay. Okay, this was a weird one. Let's put them back in. Group number one, could it be that you are now in a situation where things are maybe kind of in a clean slate for you, but you cannot decide yet which direction you want to go? Could it be? Because I really do sense that for some of you. So we have that here. Okay. Yeah, I kind of see this very much as confirmation for that. Group number one, with you, I feel that you are kind of midst of this deciding process here. I feel like you might have had a major shift in your career life, or might be educational, but honestly more in your work life. There might have been a major shift, and right now you maybe are contemplating in which way to handle things from now on, because you've got some past experience here. And yeah, we have the Five of Cups here. So I feel like for you, group number one, the upcoming week is going to be a lot about re-evaluating the way you communicate, re-evaluating the way you solve conflicts, I think. And overall, I feel group number one for you, I think it is a lot about really not dwelling too much on the past habits or past patterns you have displayed there. Because especially with, and what's very interesting, I feel like some of you might be also asked to walk in somebody else's shoes for a mile or two, to be honest. But what I get is like this slight confusion that you might have about things, and not even confusion, it's just that I feel you are aware that there are like different ways to go about this situation and how to reconstruct things now after this major shift, or with this major shift. You see the chance to, I feel, step into a new way to handle your power, handle your strength, to prove yourself and to put yourself out there. And I feel for you, group number one, communication is a very key topic here. It definitely is also with the King of Swords here popping up, with the Five of Swords. Oh, just dropped that out by accident. And also with the Page of Swords here. I feel like you are heading into a new way of doing this. And you might have been somebody who might have run a big mouth at times. And not in a way that you were like making false promises or something. But I think you might have had the tendency to be quite blunt in criticism and quite bold in those things. And while I feel that on one hand, of course, earns you, especially if you are right about these things that you say, even though you might not deliver them in a pleasant way, but in the end, if it's true what you've said there, it earns you sooner or later some, you know, reputation of knowing what you're doing. But I think that on the emotional side, let's see what you should or could focus on during the upcoming week. I feel like on the emotional side, when it comes to emotional intelligence and communication, I feel that has been a field which is still something where I think you are about to grow. I think you are about to grow there. And I think you are very aware that this might be the component which really refines your skill set, you know. And with the Queen of Wands here, by the way, it's a very, very beautiful card when it comes to, you know, creativity and, yeah, rebuilding a world basically here. And also the Star is, for me, very much the ultimate card of also hopes and wishes and them coming to fruition and fulfillment. So but overall, yes, I always try to stress and to accentuate that also this is the card that comes after a Tower moment. It comes after the sudden disruption or disconstruction of things comes the scenery where we rebuild things and rebuild a world which is maybe even more exciting and more promising than the one that we left behind, you know. Yeah, and we have the Five of Pentacles reversed here. I feel you also, for some of you, this situation here, which I was talking about earlier in the reading, which might have been also ridden with conflicts. I feel like you, for those of you for whom this is true, I feel you will have the opportunity to redeem yourself. So, or basically going down this transformation, this learning path that you're on right now. Here he pops out again. Interesting. So it didn't come without a reason. And we have back of the deck strength here. So what I also get with the Queen of Wands here and strength popping out, you might have a fire sign, so Aries, a Leo or Sagittarius in your Sun, Moon, Rising or Venus. But especially I feel Leo. I somehow feel Leo here a lot. Give me a second. So we have the 9th house, we have Aquarius right by the star. Very interesting. And the North Node. Yes, and let me see about that Leo energy. Yeah, if that somehow is sticking through here. In which way is it playing in here? In which way? We have Sagittarius 3rd and Mercury, so it is indeed for you a lot about communication, and I think expanding the way you see things, maybe be a little bit more. You know, this card for me also talks always about outdoing your ancestors, or like those who came before you, outdoing those who gave you the foundations and the base you stand on right now, to go beyond that and outdo them even, and prove yourself being even better at that and building on top of that. And for me it also talks about being you know, working with some sort of foresight, thinking further, thinking in advance into the future, which is also, by the way, in my opinion, well, very much a skill that differentiates the Queen of Wands from the previous characters that come in the wand suit in the tarot, and also, for instance, who differs very much, who makes the difference between the Page or the Knight of Wands, for instance, who come before her stage-wise. It is this wisdom that is accumulated and gained, and also helps to not suppress the energy and this burst of creativity and enthusiasm and drive, but to channel it. And to here we very much have this component in here. Also with Aquarius popping out there in 9th house, you know, I feel like you might also feel like, and here with the 6 of Pentacles, that for some of you the topic of justice and fairness, fair distribution in society, fair distribution within your circle, fair distribution of things, resources, a shift in that might also be a topic for you, that you are dealing with that currently and finding a new way there. So let's see how you can take care of yourself best during the upcoming week. I want to pull a card from the Elemental Power Tarot here, because I feel like they are a nice complementary, or yeah, like a nice additional element to especially spreads with the Rider-Waite, because they get rid of the human element entirely there, and they kind of leave space for you to tune into the atmosphere of a card and really try to embrace the energy that it stands for. So what is a card that might signify for you how you can take care of yourself best during the upcoming week? Oh, we have several dropping out here. So we have the Magician in reverse here. We have, I believe, this is the Queen of Wands. Very interesting. So really stepping into that energy that is about expressing yourself, creative expression, but also being aware that you are protected, that you are good in the place you are at currently. You are in a place which gives you the foundations and the resource to be really confident about who you are and what you do. And it's also a very motivating style of leadership for those of you for whom this is about maybe entering a position where you are leading a team, maybe getting a promotion, or where you have maybe started redefining the way you lead. This might indicate also that you are now stepping into a new sort of confidence, which helps you to, you know, sometimes also show a more empathetic side of you and show a side which is more targeted and more directed towards picking up people at the point they are at and not enforcing your point of view on people at times, what the King of Swords sometimes might do. Even the King of Swords being the only king in the entire suit, like facing you straight forward, that says a lot, I feel, about this confrontational style that sometimes radiates with this card. And we have the Devil here. So the Devil's card traditionally, you know, it has to do a lot with it has a very karmic energy to it, and also that side of those things which is about addictions, about being bound to things, about habits that are not beneficial to you but which are consuming you. So it's interesting. And here with the Ten of Pentacles, I feel for some of you, and the Magician in reverse here, for some of you, group number one, I feel this is also about like this fine line which you walk when it comes to a feeling, acknowledging your abundance, the fine line you walk between being consumed by it and on the other hand, oversharing it, getting rid of it all and nothing being left for you. So for you, I feel it also, for those of you who maybe have this topic of generosity going on, I think it also is about, you know, how much do we actually need to give to really spark and maybe induce some change or some progress, and how much when we actually give is suffocating this drive. For instance, and I cannot think of a very neutral or not polarizing example for this, but for instance, if you help someone out in material ways, it really depends if you help them to help themselves and you maybe invest in their education, or you invest in them getting a set of tools that they urgently need to really execute and exercise their craft. Or if you just give people, for instance, material costs just covering everything for a month, let's say, or 3. That also is help, but probably the more sustainable way how you help a person is going to be supplying them with a resource to help themselves. So it kind of is maybe this energy that you are dealing with. Not all of you, but for some of you, I really sense this. And I feel like really kind of getting into a place where you can rest comfortably in the knowing that you are cared for, that you are provided, you know, not only by someone, but also you can provide for yourself, and you are protected. I feel that that is something that might be very soothing for you, very calming. Try to rest in that energy and maybe in that mindset, and reassuring yourself that things are good for you, things are going good for you, and that it, on the other hand, doesn't put you in the obligation to you know, give away too much of it. It doesn't put you in that obligation. You can encourage, you can share, and you can also support a person who is maybe not in such a fortunate place as you. But on the other hand, what also comes to mind, like if somebody is struggling, somebody that is really means a lot to you, if they are struggling but you are not, you know, that doesn't put you in a place where you need to struggle with them. I feel like some of you maybe need to hear this, maybe. So yeah, let's now take one of the Earth Magic cards to see how you can take care for yourself. But very, very interesting. And I somehow get like a very warm energy for you, group number 1. Very warm and very, you know, very pacified, very, very coming into like calmer and steadier waters, and embracing this opportunity of creating from that place. Creating not from a place where you are pushed and where you need to do it out of emergency, but from a very confident and well-supplied place in whatever sense that resource might be, like material or emotional. But for a lot of you, I sense this is also about material resource. So I feel like for some of you, it also is finally embracing power and strength in a way which is not always confrontational, you know? So let me see. Full moon. So for those of you who are into this, indeed working with the cycles of the moon and maybe performing some rituals or introducing some habits that are related to the moon phases might be a good way for you to get through the next week, but also maybe through time beyond that. And also I sense for a lot of you, being close to water might be very soothing, very beneficial. Going to a lake, maybe having a walk there, you know, sitting there meditating, reading a book maybe. So also getting there might be, and also following your natural cycle in a way. You know, if you feel like going to sleep, then don't force yourself to stay awake and maybe finish something up. Or if you feel like going outside and if you have that drive, then follow it. Try to really listen to your own needs and intuition very closely during the upcoming week, because I feel for you it is a lot about kind of resettling after the storm. And you know that has already started and you are amidst that process, and I feel you are now midst of getting to know a new emotional atmosphere and background for your communication and the way you deal with things. So group number 1, this is all I have for you. Thank you so much for tuning into this reading. I wish you a wonderful, productive week. And yeah, I hope that you are able to really dwell into that peaceful and confident and strong, warm feeling that I feel a lot of you might start experiencing. I hope that you can stay in tune there and make some progress and really have a successful and good week. So see you in the next video. Bye! So hello and welcome to your reading, group number 2. So I hope that the past week has had not only some challenges and lessons for you, but also some blessings and some beautiful moments. So for you, I feel like using the Druid Tarot deck, and I see we come straight to the T very quickly, very fast. 4 of Cups reversed here. So I feel like for you, maybe group number 2, I feel those came out like that. We have the 4 of Swords, and we have the Devil's card reversed here. So I feel like maybe a global theme for this week's reading might really be really going through your habits. Maybe also with Pisces season, you know, still being relevant here. I feel like for some of you it really might be about a physical thing, about a physical, like not necessarily addiction, but a physical habit. Like I somehow, yeah, we have the Page of Pentacles here. No, in this deck, it's the Knight. Sorry, Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles here. So interesting. It's a very strange energy kind of lingering here right now. With kind of like a very contemplating energy, and I feel that cycle might have finally ended for you. A cycle of a very I get kind of excruciating contemplation, to be honest. And yeah, we have the Ace of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles reversed here. So for some of you, it might mean that maybe the upcoming time, especially when it comes to your social connections, I feel that it might be that you might get some new opportunity to make income, to create wealth. With the Ace of Swords here, overall I feel like for some of you it might denote a new... Interesting, we have the Four of Swords up there, we have the Ten of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, I feel for some of you, you are kind of coming out of a very needy time, like a very needy energy that... Also, maybe this is why I was sticking so much to, you know, the Devil's card previously in reverse there. I feel like for you it is really about making a change in some sort of habit. Let me see. Let's see the full reading. Also, group number 2, could it be that you are maybe also not sure if you can share whatever is going on with you? I somehow get a very closed off attitude and energy here. We have the Three of Wands here, so I'd say most definitely, you know, some new project, new stream of income, new way to create wealth. We have Ace of Cups. So we have 3 aces in your reading, group number 2. And we have the Page of Pentacles. So yeah, I get for you, group number 2, this also might be about you going back to school, you continuing or starting new education, new educational path. Like for some of you, maybe also like a master's degree or something. But with the aces, that's really impressive. And you also, I feel, group number 2, it's so interesting because I get a very stagnant and closed off vibe somehow. On the other hand, you have all these cards which speak of opportunity, and I somehow get that you, with the Nine of Swords here also, I am now like very, very sure that you have something going on that you cannot talk about, which is somehow standing in the way of you embracing all of this opportunity that is being offered to you. Also with the Three of Wands here, let's not forget that. That's, for me, especially in this deck, the ultimate card of heading into new destinations. And you know, after we have encountered the thought kind of, or the element first with the Ace, then we and interestingly enough, the Ace of Wands is not here, but we have the Three of Wands here. So after encountering the element with the Ace and with the twos, going through our process of contemplation and decision making, with the 3 we start to lay the foundations, or we start the movement towards manifestation, which is in the 4 then. And I feel like you very much are there, like with the, yeah, you know, it starts to kind of paint a picture here, because we have the 4 of Cups in reversed, we have the 4 of Swords there, but we have the 3 of Wands. And here with the 10 of Pentacles, we are near to the end of a cycle being completed. It talks about legacy. It also talks, like, I feel you might have started a path, group number 2. And on the other hand, you might have started it, and you might have even gone quite halfway already with it, or even further. And this is when you realize that actually, when it comes to your passions, and when it comes to also the way how you gain motivation, I feel you're people who gain motivation out of very emotional resources, because there are people who gain motivation for things a lot in having insight what kind of material wealth that might create, how much of a success that could be. But for you, I feel it is very much you are people who are very emotional about what you do. You get a lot of mere emotional satisfaction, or you want to get mere emotional satisfaction out of things when you do and create them. And we have the Six of Swords here, so I feel like you are trying to head into more steady waters with this. We have the Fool in reverse there. We have the Nine of Swords. We have the Empress in reverse. Yeah, I feel group number 2 that this thing that you are onto right now, I feel that is it has to do a lot with you actually seeking fulfillment there. And let me clarify the Empress. Yeah, we have the Three of Swords reversed there. I feel for the most of you, and I feel some of you really, really need to hear this, this path that you are on there, and also this new opportunity that is getting offered to you. Don't think that that is an interruption to your journey, or that it excludes what you have been on to previously, and that it puts all the work that you have done before to meaninglessness, like that it completely discards that. That is not the case. And I feel that you might have been on a path which you thought is bringing you, you know, some sort of fulfillment, that is kind of being nurturing grounds for new ideas and maybe even a new you in some sense. I feel for a lot of you, this has also started out as a path of reinventing yourself. And you might have now been presented with an opportunity that at first glance might make it seem to you like it goes against the things that you've been doing previously. But in fact, group number 2, I think that you will find finally that bliss and that emotional stability in a way that you were looking for while pursuing this initial first thing. You will find it, I think, when you embrace this new opportunity presented to you and this new opportunity coming for you. And it is a general reading. For me, it is right now very difficult to say if this is evolving only in career. I feel for a lot of you, it is. But as I said, I get with you, you guys who chose this group today, you might be people working in creative crafts and creative industries, which currently also are very, you know, it's a tough area currently. It is very impacted by the current situation worldwide, and it might go well with the part of the story which is about you pursuing initially something that is about growth and getting out there, and you started something and then now like it kind of gets interrupted. And yeah, also with going back to school, I feel for some of you this is really a topic, and I feel like that might be a good idea for you. Might be a good idea, and it might help you get into those steady waters that you are looking out for. Because I get also with those with this Ace of Cups, you, or also on the other hand having the Six of Swords there, which are also about a peaceful mind. You know, swords are a lot about our thoughts and our communication, but also a lot about our thoughts. And I feel you have been very, very restless, and I feel like you need to come to terms and peace with yourself that reinvention and rebirth has different faces, and it can look very differently from what you imagine, but it still is giving you what you are looking for, a rebirth, a reinvention, even if it's in different ways than you initially planned to. That's kind of part of that, you know, rebirth doesn't happen always according to plan, because it's something new being created and something new growing, which you even can maybe not even be aware before that. So a very interesting time for you, group number 2. And I think during the upcoming week, you will need to take those decisions, and you will be presented with that opportunity, like and/or, depending on your particular individual story. And let's now see how you can take care of yourself best during that time. So for that, I would like to draw a card from the Elemental Power Tarot, because those cards that have removed the human component, I feel are giving a nice additional element to the classical tarot, or also to this tarot deck. And just making space for you to really settle into the atmosphere that is presented in the card. So let's see. There we go. So let me just check for the imagery. I feel this is the Knight of Pentacles here in this deck. Yeah, it's the Knight of Coins. So, Fire of Earth, the Champion of Formation. And the guidance in this card is that you're longing to get something tangible out into the world. Something symbolic of your passions, a stake in the ground to mark how far you've come and where you're going. This is a great time to find the core of your grand project of life and to express it in a form that others can see and understand. What can you make that can carry your will forward without needing you there to explain it? You don't need to build a sphinx, but using it as inspiration wouldn't hurt. And the challenge about this is, in your haste to offer something to the world, you may push yourself too hard and overlook little details that make a huge difference. Use that urgency to push your motivation, not your process. Yeah. I feel that very much resonates with what I was talking previously in this reading, and I even don't want to add too much to this. Also, interestingly enough, we have the Knight appearing here 2 times. So I really think in here, you know, I think you want to create some sort of legacy, something that really leaves a mark, that really proves a point in your life and in this world. But I feel like going differently about it than you maybe initially wanted to might be a good idea, and I think you will be presented with an opportunity to do so during the upcoming week, group number 2. So let's see now with the Earth Magic cards, in addition, what you can do to really take care of yourselves. So we have childhood here, innocence. So really returning to your childhood home, or just practicing maybe looking at things in an almost naive way, and really taking joy in very little things that we tend to take for granted. I feel that is something that might really give you sometimes. It might give you back, I get this, I somehow sense this feeling of liberation and freedom, and taking off the pressure of responsibility for some of you, I get. This is also about that. And really just returning, if you can, to your childhood home, or the place where you grew up, or where you and your caretakers lived. Or just a place which kind of creates these memories or feelings of innocence and carelessness, just because general reading and individual stories are very different, and everybody has different family settings, different biographies, and it might look a little bit different to you, what radiates innocence and carelessness to you, or which place you connect to that. Maybe it's not your parents' house, but your grandparents' house, or the place where you not grew up, but where you maybe spent your years of study, or your high school years only. But I think you get the gist of that, what I mean. Going to a place which evokes a feeling of bliss, almost naive bliss. I get naivety so much. And naivety is maybe a tad, like it is connotated a little bit negatively. And we often maybe even tend to put naivety to the same place as even stupidity maybe, or lack of experience. But I get there is something very, very nostalgic and very soft and sweet about naivety, and I mean it more in that sense of the word. And here, a full moon. So also for some of you, really listening closely to your natural rhythm of your body, and so going to bed at times when your body really is getting tired and when you want to, getting out in nature when you feel like doing that, and clearing your head. So, living a little bit more by your actual needs. I think that might be very supportive for you to have a more peaceful and more clear place in your mind. So group number 2, this is all I have for you. I thank you so much for tuning into this reading, and I wish you a very productive week. I hope that you manage to take good care of yourself, of your emotional place of peace, and a peaceful place of your mind as well. And I think the upcoming week is going to be very meaningful for you. Dare to reach for your highest hopes, for your biggest dreams, and dare to do it. And don't let even your own, experiences or doubts, or also maybe some pain from the past limit you there. So thank you so much, and take good care of yourself, and see you in the next video. Bye! So hello and welcome to your reading, group number 3. So today we will use the Illuminated Tarot for you, group number 3. So welcome back, and I hope the past week had not only some challenges and lessons for you, but also some beautiful and blissful moments. So let's see what the upcoming week has in stock for you, group number 3. And I already get somehow a very active energy, something very, very active. We have the 7 of Cups, and I get also somehow, waking up after a period of hibernation. We have the World, we have the 7 of Wands here. We have 2 of Wands reversed and the King of Wands. So yeah, I get a lot of activity, really awakening after a period of maybe resting. And the Page of Swords, the 6 of Pentacles. I also get not maybe telling initially the news about a project or an idea to the world. And with 6 of Pentacles, I feel like you have spent in this position, I feel like you have spent the recent past weeks, or maybe even a longer time span, really just recharging and really getting ready for this new blast that is about to spike up in your life. And because I feel you really are kind of bubbling and boiling and all ready to, and boiling not in a sense of anger, but like really being ready to finally start to get to things and to get to action after a period of maybe contemplation, taking a rest, really also trying to think of new ways how to pursue things. Maybe also feeling limited at times. I feel like some of you really come out of a period of feeling limited, feeling restricted. Also in your creativity, I get. Maybe some of you have experienced art block or something like that in the recent... yeah, okay, we're taking you. Death. So... And we have the 5 of Pentacles in reverse here as the back of the deck. So interesting, very, very interesting, because I feel like for you, this is really about a new beginning and a new chapter, and you kind of stripping off some old self, I get. Like this is somehow a very powerful combination we have laying here. And with the Death card here, it's I think not like you might have gone even through here. In this time I somehow get also with the 5 of Pentacles in reverse there, I get that you kind of are. And the King of Wands being so central here in this reading and in this spread. And in particular in this deck, he has a very ambitious and motivated expression to his face, I always feel. And I feel like you really are... I somehow also get like getting up, back up on your feet after defeat. Also for some of you, this might be a topic. Somehow get that. So let's see what you should focus on during the upcoming week. So we have the Hermit popping out here as back of the deck. So as I said, I feel some of you might have gone through a period of contemplation, of regeneration, just restoring your energy. And with the King of Swords here, I feel like for you it is really and the Devil in reverse there. I feel like whatever you are about to hop in, and this thing that you want to embark and where you want to put all that ambition, motivation into, I feel like you have, first off, you've been dwelling on this long enough and you've been sitting on it long enough. And I think you have, and interestingly enough, in the Hermit card here, we also have this little skull implemented here. Like, I really feel for some of you, this is coming back with a blast after silence, after, you know, cocooning away maybe a bit, after feeling defeated, after... It is really this energy of re-emerging from something. And with the Ace of Cups, I feel here being in that position, I feel this brings you a lot of emotional redemption in a way too. And I think you will be able to let go of quite a few things that just don't serve you anymore. And I feel also the only thing that might be a little bit challenging, you know, is the way how you go about it, how you talk about it. I get that, I somehow get very strongly. Let me see here. We get Mercury, 4th house, and Virgo. Very interesting. By the way, you might have Virgo in your chart, in your big three, or in Venus, so Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Also with the Hermit being here. But overall, I also get that you might... I get that you are not maybe necessarily a fire sign, but you have a very fiery energy about you currently, like a very, very ambitious, might be even Capricorn type, because we also have Capricorn laying here. But I feel when it comes to communication, I feel really being more quiet than bold and loud about your plans right now, or what you're about to do. Like let the action do the talking is what I get. Let the action do the talking. So with those of you with whom this group resonates, you will know what I'm talking about. Also, I know the 7 of Cups, we have the skull here again. So I really get for you, you have come out of like every birth cocoon, and you come out in a way different shape than you entered it. So, and also the World card here, it has this very beautiful imagery where I feel like really it is very satisfying. It gives this notion of bringing something to completion, like closing this circle and bringing things to a perfect round shape, and also doing that with a beauty and confidence that is very very striking, very inspiring. And with the 9 of Pentacles here, you know, I really think that, yeah, I somehow very strongly get, like, let the action do the talking, really, guys. And if this doesn't resonate at all with you, and you are like, I don't have anything like that going on in my life, always feel free to select one of the other groups, because this is a general reading, and we can cover just the global or more general aspects of your story right now. And also, you know, there are other messages hidden in the other groups, so if this is not your story, then feel free to check another one. And I get that some of you might even have felt drawn to another group previously, even those with whom this resonates. I somehow get that, yeah. Yeah, because for some of you, maybe you are just... getting out of this and maybe halfway still kind of in that recuperating cocoon. But maybe, yeah, maybe that's the reason. Interesting enough, I get. But let's see how you can take care of yourself best during the upcoming week. So let's see. And I also get some of you will get like the opportunity, for those of you with whom this is connected to a bigger group of people or to audience or something like that, you will, during the upcoming week, I feel you will get the opportunity to like have this comeback and this rebirth moment. Like I think for not all of you, but for some of you who chose this group and with whom this resonates, this might be the case as well. So, whoop, there we get it, your 2 cards. So we have the 2 of Swords reversed, and we have the 7 of Swords. You have 7 of Cups, 7 of Wands, 7 of Swords. We have, yeah, 3 times 7 here. I'm now looking, yeah, all the other ones. No, we don't have any more. Yeah, I feel for you it is really about going into a next stage of, you know how sometimes you have an initial idea, you start putting things together, you start heading towards this destination, it manifests, and then it's like you try to learn how to deal with this new thing that has now manifested in your life and that you have built. You try to make it work with other aspects of your life. We come to the stage of the 6s, basically, which is about the ultimate balance between things. And then in order to progress, to bring the cycle to completion, it also means kind of leaning into the other end, which means restarting in a way the same process. Again, things get realigned, readjusted a little bit. This is also where it talks, I feel, also a lot about opportunities. You know, with 7s, it also is about opportunities presented, with also situations where you can either take or leave things, where you are presented with different things, and it's up to you how you decide now. And at some point you also cannot know every particular detail how things will play out after that choice. You just gotta go and make a decision. Also with the 2 of Swords, for me, a card which talks a lot about decision making. Yeah, very interesting. And let's just see what the 7 of Swords card here in this deck, what it is saying in the guidebook, because this Elemental Power Tarot comes with a guidebook with some interesting quotes in there. And I am somewhat picky about decks, and especially alterated versions of the tarot, or with decks overall. I am kind of picky there, and here I like that it has an outlook on tarot which doesn't eliminate the traditional principles. It just condenses it to a very, a very clear and essential view on the particular cards. So overcoming doubt we have here. And your thoughts and words are more aligned with your purpose than you think. It is safe to listen to your own voice first and to make that voice heard. You have worked hard to process and integrate your life experiences, and they can now be expressed as your own personal wisdom. Listen closely to what you say and how you say it. Fully formed worldviews may tumble casually from your brain and mouth when you least expect it. Treasure them. So yeah, fully formed worldviews. Very interesting. And that's the thing that I feel you might not expect it. And the thing is also that I still get this thing. It's a difference where that happens to you. If it's in your closer circles, or if that is really kind of in the public eye or something. I get for some of you this also might be involved with an audience. This is why maybe I am so careful about this. And the challenge about this is there is a fine line between pride and arrogance. Accepting that we have specialized knowledge in something must never fool us into believing we are experts in general. Remain open to changing course. Yeah. So I think this is also the point where we kind of have it. Very interesting. But I feel, yes, maybe nurturing that part of you which deals with confidence and which deals with your self-expression. I feel doing something that makes you feel comfortable about this, whatever this might be. If this is creative work or creative expression, then do that, but not in a way which is work-oriented, but something that really is without expectation, without any pressure, which is something that really gives you just pure joy and regeneration and just restores you, and gives you that feeling of wholeness, I get somehow too. Something that makes you feel really, really good about yourself. But I feel for you, this also might be something which is activity, which is not just physically, putting yourself in a bubble bath. But it really, I get that you guys might have, you who chose this group, you might have particular things that make you feel whole and connected and at ease with yourself, and really do that. Pursue those things. I feel that this will very much help you throughout this process. And let's see with the Earth Magic cards, the same thing. What can you do? What can you do to take good care of yourself during the upcoming week? Do. Okay, so we have fog, obscured, which is here, kind of depicted as well. We have iceberg, hidden, and we have eagle, connection. So if you are doing that, then I encourage you to work with your spirit guides and to meditate, maybe ask for their guidance there. If not, then definitely maybe tap into it, or at least do some meditation where you try to really clear your mind, calm it, and then listen closely what also after that session, for instance, comes back to your mind first. I feel that might be also giving you a clue for where you maybe can work on something, or it might give you some insights or thoughts which are going to strengthen your confidence and believing in yourself. So that might be an aspect. And with fog here, the thing is, especially also in this imagery, we don't see something necessarily. We don't see the valley here in the rest of the forest or the foot of the mountain, but it doesn't change the fact that it exists. It is there, and it is something that will disclose itself once the air is clear, once the circumstances are right for it. So I also feel for some of you who are very urgently or have maybe been doing that in the past, like very pressing, very urgently looking for a decision, a solution, or wanted to instantly know the way how to do something or how things will go. I feel for you understanding this, I get for you meditation might be so insightful for you, because what is important, I think, with all this ambitious and driven energy that you are right now holding within you and that you carry. Also, I just noticed we have 2 twos as well. Understanding that, having that all energy for that, having a mind that is as open and as receptive and attentive as possible, while not being irritated and while not being overloaded, not having a sensory overload, still being very sharp and attentive in your mind. I think that is very, very important to you. Also, we have here hidden, we have obscured. So I feel it is really for you about understanding that sometimes there's more to a thing that you really see with the eye first. But that is not... Also here in this 7 of Wands depiction, that's the thing. In this card, we cannot clearly see who or what is even holding these wands that we are trying to defend, or defend ourselves against. So being aware of you maybe not knowing all the circumstances of something but also not having the need and urge to find that out before taking a decision. Like really trust your perception, trust your intuition, stay attentive. And I get for you meditation and like having your mind in that state where I was explaining previously, it I think is good for you to have it in that place. I feel that is something that might be very, very crucial for you during the upcoming week, group number 3. So, and addition, I feel like recommending this every time and sounding like a broken record, but for us humans, just as human beings, it is very beneficial to us to go into nature and to really spend time there without any interference of, you know, messages of other people, of just everyday life and everyday surroundings, because we as humans, regardless of our preferences, the way we are designed, the way our minds are designed and working, they always benefit from some time which is, you know, de-stressing, decompressing, taking away all the sensory, all the things hitting our sensory nerves all the time. So I feel for you this might be extremely, extremely helpful, group number 3. So yes, thank you so much for tuning into this reading. I wish you a wonderful, successful week. I really feel like this is a very, very good and interesting direction you're heading there. And interesting, really, in a good sense, you know, interesting and exciting, and also will bring you, I think, a lot of emotional fulfillment, and will give you the opportunity to embrace some things that you might not even expect that they are something that you have missed in life. And once you will experience that and have that, I feel you will be very, very happy about that. So, you know, dive into some meditation, take good care of yourselves, and see you in the next video. Bye! So, hello and welcome to your reading, group number 4. So, for you, let me see. I feel like using this deck for you, the Elemental Power Tarot. And the thing is, it's very interesting because this is a deck which is, in a way, a little bit abstract because it doesn't have the human imagery implemented into it. But it also leaves, I feel, always leaves a lot of space for just the very pure essence of a card. And I hope that the past week has had not only some challenges and lessons for you, but also some blessings and beautiful moments. And feel free to tell me in the comments below how the past week has been for you, and maybe how it has resonated, and what's been going on. So very excited to hear from you always. So let's see. With you, I also get like some very, very dreamy energy. Pisces season still ringing through here a little bit, you know. Somehow get that. And I get some of you might right now be not necessarily on a retreat or something, but I feel some of you might have like recently picked up meditation or something. We're starting a spiritual practice. Have 7 of Wands here. I think that came up. That came out upright actually. So interesting enough, and I know I just got the word like something about synergy. Very interesting. I really think that some of you might have picked up on some spiritual practice recently, or just really evaluating your habits and things like that. The Hierophant, so yeah. Worshipping, like somehow worshipping, and also I feel like yes, spiritual practice is one thing, but I think you are also maybe diving into some sort of research there. Some sort of research. And I feel like you are also looking for like-minded people there. Looking for a community maybe. And I feel that that might be a little bit challenging for you because you are so... I get you are very practical minds, actually. I get that you are very, very practical. And actually, maybe that is something that doesn't resonate well with every group of people who are into spirituality. And practical, I mean in that sense that you might have... You might actually be someone who is... First off, I get the feeling you might be stumbling upon this channel, maybe even the first time, or this is one of the very first pick a cards that you are doing or watching. We have strength here. We have the 7 of Cups. We have 7 of Wands, 7 of Cups. We have 8 of Wands there as well. We have... Very interesting, the Knight of Swords there, 2 of Swords. And the back of the deck for you is... I feel this is the... Yeah, this is the Queen of Pentacles in this deck. In reverse, actually. So for you, group number 4, I feel that some of you might have actually gotten into this thing because maybe some of you have actually kind of lost a source which was very nourishing and motherly to you in a way. Like very much nourishing that side of you, which you maybe not consciously would attribute to spirituality necessarily. And the thing is that I very often get very, like not enraged, but I sometimes get quite noisy and irritated about the fact that spirituality sometimes it tends to be defined as something esoteric, and you know, it's only about crystals and only about, you know, some practices and groups of people. And like sometimes it gets such a weird vibe and name with people who are trying to put things into boxes, you know. Why I am tapping into this so much is because I feel that you actually might have been a person who is very spiritual and very open to psychological topics, to spiritual topics, to just being very interested and always maybe having this feeling that there must be something beyond us existing, you know, there must be something that is you know, going beyond our daily life and what we can see on plain sight. I feel like you have always had this feeling, and I feel like I get grandmother maybe in some way. I somehow get like this very motherly and loving energy here. And you might have had a person in your life, like maybe grandmother, like maybe somebody else who has always been very encouraging to the illusory part in your mind, which is more open to fantasy, to creativity, to also maybe, you know, just to these soul things, which I actually like to see kind of as the definition behind spirituality. Because spirituality and spiritual practices, like spiritual practices are one thing, it's a part of spirituality, but spirituality in itself, I feel, is something that is very much kind of a place of the soul, and it's something which is a lot about discovering your own soul and how you perceive the world and what your source of your emotions is, of your... It's very difficult and simple at the same time. Spirituality, I think, is not necessarily only about belief or a religion. And I feel why I keep rambling about this so much, I feel, is like you are yourself redefining these things for you. I feel like you are redefining this for you, and also it might be that you are not having an easy time to express all these things. But I feel that you will find a place where you will feel comfortable about expressing this, and you will find a place where you really can grow into this. And I think this will be a very exciting journey for you, group number 4. So I think that especially with the Ace of Pentacles here, which is very much depicted in this deck as a card depicting basically a desert with some grass and mountains in the back. And I feel, especially in this deck, the Ace here talks a lot about you finding a place where you need to create your own world. You need to work the soil now, you need to plant stuff here, you need to water it, you need to grow your life here. And here we have this imagery with the lion in this field of flowers, and also with these roots here. And very, very peaceful imagery, I think. Very peaceful expression that the lion has, also very playful in a sense. And if you put both of these just besides, I feel like you can kind of see it's like, to me it very much right now looks like this is kind of the step that comes after this. And let me just see with your astrological energy here. We have Mars and Leo, and I just wanted to say Leo, oh my god, with strength. We have some Leo here, I thought. And the 3rd house. And yeah, it plays so very, very well into this. I feel like you are trying to find community, find a way to be vocal about this, to express these things, and yeah, interesting. Very interesting. So let us check what you could focus on, and let's use the Rider-Waite deck for this. So by the way, we'll see now the comparison between the traditional because we have, like, as traditional you could say there's the Rider-Waite deck, there's the Marseille, and there's also the Thoth Tarot. So the Aleister Crowley Tarot, and like this is kind of the classic trine, let's say, but I refer to the Rider-Waite as kind of the classic one because I have used it from the very beginning, and these were the cards through which I started studying tarot and working with it, and I still return to this deck very often. I like it. I still think it's not only something that works well for beginners or something, like I think it's a very, very interesting set of symbolism we have there, very expressive cards, you know, but for beginners especially a nice way to get started with reading. And as the back of the deck we have 2 of Cups reversed here. So, and by the way, I feel you might be someone who wants to get started with this and wants to get started out with this. So if you are looking for a deck, I recommend purchasing this one, the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. So, and if you want to get started out with tarot, I recommend this deck strongly. Yeah, but very, very interesting. So, and by the way, by meaning lost a source, you know, loss can look very differently. It can be just physical, real loss if somebody's not in this realm anymore, but it also can be loss of contact, loss of friendship. It can have different faces. So it's a general reading and I cannot go down into every detail, but for some of you it might be the case. Also, let's now go into this focus column again, what you could or should focus on during the upcoming week. And what I feel is that for you, it's, I think, a lot about a kind of rebirth. We get this topic here a lot. So I really think you are somebody who's just, you know, realizing all this topic, all this world, all this like aspect of your life, and you are just starting out with it and kind of facing your own rebirth there in a way. And I feel that this is something that I believe needs to happen for you, honestly, group number 4. Not necessarily in groups and not necessarily in a social setting. I feel like first for you, putting in this work that you need to have for yourself, I feel that is way more important right now for you, group number 4. But of course, this is a general reading and we cannot go down every individual story. But I feel like this seeking for spiritual community, what I get for you, you will get to that point, I am sure. But the thing is that I feel this might not be providing you exactly what you are looking for, because having this spiritual core and these worship practices and like just the different kinds of work that you can do on a spiritual level, I think you can do that while looking for contact with others is a good idea. What I just want to put out there is just be mindful about it, and also remember that these things are very individual. I feel like this might be important for you to hear, but there is not necessarily like 100% perfectly structured way how to learn these things, how to go about these things. It's a lot about finding your own pace and way to do things and doing your research on your own and taking into account very different experiences, different recommendations, backed up with different literature, different stories, different just different experiences, and taking in account all of it and experimenting, finding what works for you best. I feel this is very important for you right now, and this is the work that you might need to put in there first. So let's see how you can take care for yourself best during the upcoming week. And for that, I also feel like first pulling a music card for you. So you might be, yeah, I mean, Leo, you might be people who are into music, into entertaining, into like acting stuff, like into movies and series as well. So let's see. What music should you listen to maybe the upcoming 7 days, or start listening to within those days? Well, then let's do it this way. We'll split it, and for you I feel like, let's take this group, and we will now spread it. And let's see. So Kate Bush, yeah, very, very interesting. Let's see if I can pull another one for you. I don't think that. I think that's it. So with Kate Bush, we have a very interesting artist, very versatile, and somebody who managed to, I think, incorporate spiritual atmosphere and spiritual things in her work in a very, socially accepted and very enjoyed way, and in a way where she still stayed true to all that part of her work, and on the other hand managed to go very like mainstream and public with this. So the quotes that we have on her card are never lose the secret side of things, so never lose the mysteriousness, and cultivate nostalgia for something that has never been, and the arrows of desire are sometimes dipped in poison. And I somehow get that is related to this 3 of Cups and 2 of Cups and 3 of Pentacles situation here, with reaching out to others and sharing stuff, like somehow very, very interesting. And I'm quite sure at this point, if this group resonated to you, then this is something you will resonate with as well. And I strongly recommend to you to listen to her work, and just put her on shuffle on Spotify and go about your day or your things, and just let her roll in the background and really enjoy the experience. So very, very interesting. And let's now see what you can take, or what you can do to take care of yourself best. So We will use the Earth Magic Oracle cards for that. Okay. We have Fog obscured. Okay, and we have Morning Dawn, New Beginning. So both these cards, I think, the imagery is even kind of going well together, because this could be kind of a close-up of what is going on here, or a different angle of the Morning Dawn card. And the thing is with the fog, what we need to realize about just the nature of it is that in this card you can see it is like in this valley, and we cannot see, because of the fog, the valley or the forest or like the foot of the mountain, but it doesn't change the fact that it exists. It is there, and the fog will lift and it will dissolve once the conditions are right. You know, once the sun is high enough, once the temperature is right, once things have settled in the correct circumstances, it will be lifted and things will be disclosed. But so far, and it also has kind of a resonating vibe with, you know, the Seven of Cups here, which traditionally in the traditional depiction also has fog implemented there. And with a Morning Dawn and New Beginning, I really get this connection here to the Judgment card. And yeah. Very, very interesting. So I really think that you are somebody standing like on the verge of entering this new way to go about things, this new aspect of your life that you want to incorporate into it now. And also in this card, the Morning Dawn talks a lot about how the way how light is shed on things transforms how we perceive them. So I feel that is also an important message for you. But overall, group number 4, I think that for you it might be very beneficial to be around water. You might be also people who are plant parents, enjoy gardening a lot. So if that's the case, really indulge into that a bit. You know, make sure to dedicate some time to it. And honestly, I just can say, like, really, when you go on this journey, just stay open-minded as possible. Try out things and practices like different meditations. Try maybe different tools. Maybe working with tarot is something for you. Maybe working with runes is something for you. So just try out these different things. Do your research, but don't make it something that is limiting your life or putting stress on it. Like spirituality or spiritual practice should not be about that, I feel, at least in my opinion. And honestly, group number 4, I congratulate you. You have embarked on a very interesting journey, and I hope that you can tap into some very individual work with yourself, into self-growth. And let me maybe just pull one card from the Dark Mirror Tarot, actually. Because this is a deck which I feel is very supporting when it comes to shadow work. So work on basically getting to know and accepting your shadow side, which doesn't necessarily mean it's like the dark side of things, no. It's just the other side of the coin, you know, and it is a part of us just as the illuminated side of things. It's, I think, more about the aspect not being light or dark by nature, but it's more like on some things life sheds light very directly, and on some things light gets shed very barely, or we need to go in there and shine that light on there. So let me see. Shadow work for group number 4. Okay, so we have Envious Gluttony and we have Atonement. And let's now take the guidebook for that, because this deck comes with some very inspiring pieces of text, I feel, in the guidebook. And with Gluttony we have going to the edge of the ravine, savoring the idea of letting go all restraint. There is hunger sleeping just under the surface, like an animal lurking. This card is not just dark, it is unpleasant, sickly disgusting. The difference in the how we feel in front of a vampire is opposed in front of writhing bugs. It's not an existential darkness that we can paint of romance, drama, and subtle anguish. It is raw, primal, reeking of rotting stench. It feels like there is darkness, and in that black landscape there is a hole, leading to an even greater darkness. And that is calling. The urge is pressed down every time, played with, toyed with, treated like something that doesn't belong here. It's like rolling in the mud, bringing out the twisted, refreshing feeling of demeaning oneself. The key is that we don't want to recognize the depth of the envy and the anger. We casted it out of ourselves, and now it's truly a parasite. Monster, impossible to accept as something that came out of ourselves. What if we bring light to the pitch-dark well? What if the scary monster is just a scrawny, starved feeling? What if it's just a little thing, dark as tar indeed, but to be sorry of, not to be feared? And just looking at this card a little bit closer, we have kind of this woman creature, vampire creature with like a monstrous head worn as a hat, basically, and or being part of her. Like, it's really hard to tell and to distinguish, and it's hard to tell which parts of that like attire are just attire and which are parts of her. So I feel, you know, you will know best in which way this resonates to you, because I feel that with this card there is a lot of space for very individual interpretation. What are those parts of us that we don't want to see and don't want to accept and kind of put in a box and just shove away? And I feel for you it is very much maybe the point why you started embarking on this journey even. I feel this might be the reason why you, for some of you, the reason why you started tapping into all this work, that you understand that there might be even some things about the way you feel or think at times where you're like, why is it like that? Like, why is it like that? And I kind of don't like that. And on the other hand, it's a part of me, and what do I do with it? So for some of you, it might have been that experience, but no, not necessarily. It doesn't have to be, but could be. And with atonement, let me see. So accepting the full burden of responsibility, the fair as well the unfair, with no discount. So accepting pain as a way to survive the pain. Not all things burn, but some should. Atonement is about paying the bills. Unadulterated, unfiltered, not negotiated. It is about full and open acceptance of consequences. And a little more. It is also about paying for the price of others, letting go of all ifs and buts and taking it all in. Whether it's ours to take or another's to shoulder. If you have a piece of what puts you at fault normally, you would try to separate it and weight it evenly with what makes the other at fault and with what you made it right. A little for a little, but it rarely does it move anything forward. Sometimes we need a clean slate, and it's done by going through it all, paying more than is due to create closure for yourself, for others. You take the dark in so that others can stay in the light, even if they don't deserve it, even if you don't deserve it. So yeah, and here we have this depiction of the lady with like all the swords being up her back and stuff. And it reminds me a little bit of the Ten of Swords in the traditional tarot, which is also about like our system of beliefs and how we perceive the world and what is fair and what is unfair and how things should be and how they shouldn't. Like all of this crumbling and falling apart. Basically our entire mindset being questioned and being put to the test, and most often not making the test, so and being discarded and overhauled. So I feel for some of you really might go through this, and this kind of might be the flip side coin of all this very positive and bright atmosphere we have here, the very warm and beautiful energy. We have kind of this underbelly to it, which I think is something that you will come to, and you will dig your way through to it, and you will realize that all of these elements that we talked now with these shadow cards, they all have a particular bright counterpart of it to them. And you can find that positive counterpart everywhere here in these parts of the spread. So group number 4. Honestly, I think for you, the key to really care for yourself right now is, I think, really doing this self-exploration and going easy on you while doing this and really giving yourself that time. You don't have to rush anywhere with it. But I feel like you have embarked on a very important journey, very important for you personally. And I think you will take away a lot of growth out of this initial phase of it. And just, make sure that you give yourself a break now and then. Do things that you enjoy, that make you happy, that make you feel excited, that make you feel good, that make you feel confident and proud. And you can really take some pride into the work that you are putting in yourself right now. So group number 4, I wish you a very successful, wonderful week. Thank you for tuning into this reading, and see you in the next video. Bye!